EA's currently delivering like a pregnant woman. I'm staring down the biggest update we've had since the first title update. And I'm talking team builder updates, dynasty fixes, over 700 new players in the game, over 40 new uniforms, rating and player adjustments, gameplay adjustments, and even more. Since I last made a video on this channel about an update, they fixed a lot of the bugs, so I'm curious what's even in here. And I want to start with Team Builder. That was a nice surprise, introducing Adobe Express integration for Team Builder. It's getting an upgrade. We're excited to announce a partnership with our friends at Adobe. It's a content and design generation tool now integrated as an optional feature into Team Builder, allowing you to express your creativity and customize your experience in more ways than ever. Alright, let's take a look at this. I was going to put Harvard in the game myself at one point. It turns out it was easier to grab somebody else's. Let's see. Create with Adobe Express. I have found it inside logos. So if you're over here on this side, you just go to logos, then we can click on any of them and create a new one. Let's see. You can either generate it with AI, which is good for a custom team to have something new, or you could design it from scratch. Adobe is a good editing software. Use it for my thumbnails. Let's see what generate can pull up though. This is what I am curious about. I can use reference images as well. What I've done is I've put Grand Rapids logo in here from my Team Builder in NCAA Football 14. I want to see a Mastodon. I want to see if this can recreate it well. Agree to all your guidelines. I don't care. I'm not going to read them. I never read any guidelines. What are we going to get with Adobe Express? Well, this is what we have gotten. These actually look pretty sick. I am a big fan of them, but they didn't really look like logos. So what I've done is I've changed it over to graphic from art, and these actually stick out a lot more. Okay, this is going to be sick for what you want to create in this game. Let's say I choose this one right here and I just hit save. Does it automatically pop up in Team Builder? Because if so, again, these are the types of customizations I want to see. You should still be able to edit stuff like your school grades, but using Adobe to be able to create own logos, this is a great start for a title update, and there it is. We have it in there. Now, in order to make it a PNG, I probably have to play around with it a little bit more, but I want to cover all the stuff in the update, so I'm going to move past this, but at least for now, we can see this is a good start. Next up, let's talk Road to Glory. I just finished filming a main channel video. It's going to be a wide receiver series, but I've seen some stuff in the mode that I would like to have fixed. It just feels like it's 90-95% done, not fully polished, but this is the smallest section by far. There's literally two things in here, various scenario fixes. It's not getting anything. It seems like Dynasty's really been the main focus. Removing a rogue pickup basketball scenario that triggers multiple times. What is this? I want to know how that even got in the game. It is what it is, though. We have a lot to get to, including Dynasty, presentation, and updates, though. There are a ton of new teams on here that have new uniform pieces. I'm not going to sit here and read that entire list out to you all. That would take forever. They've also updated pre-existing uniform pieces for certain teams. And more importantly, like I said in the intro, they're introducing more than 700 new NIL players. So if your team was missing a couple of guys, go ahead and check and see if they're in. It says they've updated overall team rankings, which is needed for teams like Florida State. They better be a lot lower. Updated ratings for players as well. So it's time to load up this game and see how much of these things I can find. So of course, Ashton Jeanty's been having like the craziest season we've seen out of a running back in a long time. So he's gotten a rating update. He's up to a 96 now. He has a bunch of different abilities too. So this is all exciting. Like, this is what I want to see out of the game. I've also noticed that Florida State's overalls have dropped a little bit, but their team overall still at an 88. We got to get that down to maybe like a 79 max. That's being generous too, but you know all these new uniforms are going to be in the game that are going to be exciting. Like, look at this. We have the Miami Vice jerseys. These are always sick. I know some schools like Illinois also got some of their jerseys in here. I'm pretty sure they're just putting jerseys in the game that either teams have worn in real life or they're going to. But before we get back to the rest of the video, a word from Mando, today's video sponsor. I live in Florida, so during the summer you sweat very easily, and that's why I'm thrilled with the Mando starter pack. Mando was created by a doctor that saw firsthand how BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, and the first things I got from them was this deodorant stick and then also this deodorant cream. It's a high performance whole body deodorant that you can apply everywhere, from your pits, your packages, your feet. It literally will go anywhere on your body. As you can see, after rubbing it in, it's crystal clear, and their stick deodorant's the exact same way. Mando is clinically proven to prevent odor better than a shower with soap alone, because after 12 hours, the average man's Grundle's odor level was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, though, the average Grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10, and if you don't know what your Grundle is, it's between your cheeks and your balls. Your girl's gonna appreciate you keeping it smelling good there, and that brings me to the deodorant wipes they sent me, and also this bourbon leather body wash. I like the smell of this one, but they do have 4 different unique scents that you can choose between, at least for their solid sticks. They have have Bourbon Leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and even Unscented. Plus, not only is Mando clear, but it also doesn't stain your clothes. Their starter pack bundle is a great deal for new customers as it comes with a full-size stick deodorant, a cream deodorant tube or a spray deodorant, and 2 free products like the wipes or a mini body wash, which also includes free US shipping. Mando is also offering an additional $5 off your order whenever you click the first link in the description and use code MORD at checkout, which is a deal of over 40% off, so use code MORD and let's get back to this video. I'm very impressed with how much the dev team seems to stay up to date on these things. I'll always say the release for this game was a little bit disappointing. There was a lot of things that shouldn't have been broken that were, but ever since then they've seemed to make up for it. FSU has these baby blue ones in here, the heritage jerseys. And then also in the ACC, I think we also have Miami getting their blackouts. I'm not going to go through every team that got a jersey update, just some of the main ones, the ones that I thought were cool. So to end it off, we have UCF's 2024 Space U jerseys. I don't like these particularly compared to some of their previous ones, but it is a pretty sick design. It's hard to live up to these though. You can't go wrong with baby blue. This is what they wore last year. Anyway, like I said, there's a lot that's going on in this title update. I mean, if you want, you can scroll through all of these teams, find all the updated jerseys, especially if one of them is your favorite. I'm not going to do that. I don't have enough time to look at like South Alabama's. Western Kentucky got 2. Or are they just in here twice? Anyway, is what it is. Competition Nissan Stadium's been added to the game. I don't even know what that's for. I probably should. And then we're just going to go through some of the other features now. Starting at the top of the official article, you just have more of a summary. Things I've already talked about. Play a Friend and Ultimate Team is even here. I'm not going to really care about that. But I know it's big for the Ultimate Team people. Gameplay-wise, refresh the ability loadouts of players in front-end rosters. And this is what I was saying, like Ashton Jeanty mentioned right here, there's going to be a lot of changes to teams that are in the top 25. EA doesn't have to do that. I mean, they could just stick with what they had on release, but they're still fixing stuff. That's what I really appreciate. Reduce the frequency of pitches out of tackles missing the pitch back. Oh my gosh, that is so clutch. The speed option has been terrible for the last month, and it is such a good play. So I'm assuming that is what it's alluding to. They've also fixed some ability inappropriately triggering on blocks, alignment, whatever. Fixed an issue where cover 3 shell. See, I could dive deep into all these shells having problems. It's just the fact that they have changed this much about the gameplay. I'm thankful for it. I just remember, like NCAA Football 14 had issue after issue pop up whenever I filmed on it and played it all the time. People that played it should know that you are always running into stuff, especially if you modded it. And at least now we have a game where there's a team that's trying to fix this stuff that's broken. Should it be broken off the rip? Probably not, but it is. Cover 4 quarters. I actually care about this. This is one of my favorite defenses in the game. If this makes it even better, that's going to be a lot of fun. There have been some glitches with it where receivers just break free, get some touchdowns though. So it's nice to know the defenders will coordinate to make sure all eligible receivers are picked up. Fixed an issue where safety on the left side of the field. Okay, see, they have really listed everything off here with gameplay that I just won't ever notice. A big one people probably are going to care about, though, is pass blocking. I've seen a lot of people complaining that you get in super fast. I am one of those people that has complained. At the same time, I think it makes Heisman challenging. I don't want them to change too much about it. There's just times where some dude just slips through the hole and goes straight in before you can even do anything. Like, you have half a second to get it out. So I'm guessing that is what the issues that they're addressing here, where defensive linemen slant and side command would cause defenders to rush in the same gap. Okay, what are we talking about here? I like to speed through things. I want to get down to the Dynasty stuff. I've been reading it, but I'm not going to break everything down. I mean, it's pretty simple, just fixing a lot of bugs. You all probably didn't even notice like 90% of those gameplay bugs were in there, but they're still tuning it to make the gameplay on the football game that we've had the best gameplay since Madden 20 is even better. So very happy about that. Fixed an issue where users would not get any clock runoff with accelerated clock turned on for online head-to-head ranked games. I don't play online, but that's a pretty big issue. Glad they got that solved. Fixed an issue where the switch stick delay setting that a user would set would not stick once the user changed the menu. I don't really have much to say about this, but they did add this all post-release. Like, they added that setting after the game launched, so that's just another thing they changed. How great would it be, though, instead of talking about Dynasty stuff, I go down here and talk about Ultimate Team. Included Play Friend as a playable mode. I guess that's a good feature for people that actually play this. I'm still more on the offline type of things, but they do have a lot of fixes in here, and I've actually heard that there's not enough content with College Football Ultimate Team. So it seems like they've really put a majority of the resources into Dynasty and perfecting that. So anybody that was concerned, oh, EA is going to worry about the microtransactions in there, they haven't done that yet. I'm just so happy with the state of the game compared to where it was on launch. Travis Hunter can play as both a wide receiver and a corner. All right. The rest of this stuff, if you all want to pause it and read it, you can. It seems like they did actually work on quite a bit, which seems like it also was needed. But now it's time for the main portion, Dynasty, the one I care about the most. So they have fixed an issue with the power lineman archetype where they would not progress in the pass block finesse stat. This is actually a big issue for a lot of players with certain archetypes. Some of them progress better in certain stats than others, so I'm going to assume as they continue to work on this game, they're going to discover more of those and fix those at further positions. But at least for now, good start. Linemen progress so fast anyway, so I wasn't even noticing that. That could also do with how some players were getting in so fast off the line, even if you had like a 95 overall power lineman. They've updated Bryant-Denny Stadium to be Saban Field. That's a nice little thing. They did Pitbull Stadium for FIU in the last one. Fixed an issue where the prospect list performed a full refresh every time a recruit is targeted. Thank you, EA. I don't know how that got in with one of their patches, but they've taken it out. It was just really obnoxious. Various news story fixes. Personally, I don't even read the stories in Dynasty mode at this point. I'm just not that invested. It's not like it's the newsletter back on 06. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they'd look like this right here. They'd have a title like A Star in the Making. It would talk about the season. It just felt like you were more immersed into the actual Dynasty world with these papers. It is kind of crazy looking back on these now, though, and realizing we kind of have this in the new game. I mean, this is not really saying anything too special. I think it's just the nostalgia kicking in that makes that feel so great. But we have those news updates and stories in College Football 25. It's just so modernized and stuff, it doesn't really feel like it matters. That's my thought process on that. They've resolved an issue preventing custom schedules from working properly. If anything was huge for Dynasty in this update, that is the biggest one right there. Custom schedules were not working for a lot of people. Somehow I've barely run into those issues, but now you should be able to have them working. They've said they fixed it in previous updates. They haven't fixed it, but this time around, everyone seems to say they're actually working. They fixed an issue with how weights were displayed in team need screen. Never noticed it. That's what's so weird about a lot of these updates and patch notes. I haven't seen a lot of this stuff, and I have over 800 hours in 100 days on this game. I'm averaging 8 hours a day on College Football 25 since release. I don't have a life. Don't get me wrong, though. I would not trade anything in the world for it. I love this. I actually have enjoyed my time so much on it. I've loved the past few months, so I'm just complaining for no reason there. Fixed an issue where practice tile would not appear in the Dynasty Hub. Again, didn't notice it. Fixed an issue where you could not super sim from the play calling screen when playing as a coordinator. I've never even played as a coordinator on this game. I've just heard it's kind of broken, so I haven't tried it. But again, it could just be people acting like it's broken when it's really kind of fine. I've noticed a lot of that actually, especially after updates. Don't open up that college football Reddit. I'm telling you, people will be like, I'm throwing more interceptions since the last patch. Why did they break the game? You just suck, buddy. Don't throw it to the other team. Like, they didn't make an update that made you throw more picks. You're just throwing more picks. Anyway, they've increased the amount of wear and tear damage body parts recover on week advance. This is big. I was getting like 10 to 15 injuries by the end of the season. I'm assuming that's the reason for it. And when viewing a recruit in the recruiting board, you are now able to change which recruit you are looking at by going up and down on the right stick. That is a nice little quality of life fix. I actually really like that right there, because once you clicked in, you'd have to click out. Just extra button clicks all around. Shout out to EA for adding in like these little things, even though we're 100 days past release. You got a lot to work on still. There's a lot that still needs to be fixed. Some stuff I'd like to see in the game, but I think we do have a solid foundation and a team that cares. I'm not an EA show either. I am just happy that we have a game that is functionable in 2024. It's a good college game. That is what I have to say to end this video for all the comments that would even think about saying that.